We're back with your questions or comments for my guest, Ann Coulter, who says that America's immigration rules really mean adios to America. Economist Art Carden, who says the biggest economic lie is that government can run our lives better than we can. And from the left, Rick Ungar from Forbes, who says the right lie. So, first question from Facebook. For anyone, do the politicians lie? This is from Rosie Hampton. Do they lie because there are no consequences?
I have to acknowledge all politicians lie. I've never met one yet who hasn't. And it's not that there are no consequences, it's that the consequences for them work out really well. When they lie, they get their jobs back.
Really?
Well, don't they?
It works?
Yeah, it does. It does. Politicians lie largely because A, people are not paying attention, or B, if they are paying attention, they have not done the really, really hard thinking of understanding the economics behind an issue. It's a whole lot easier to tell a nice, simple story like, let's help poor people by raising the minimum wage, and we'll tell, and then everybody will see how great we are.
If I could say in the issue of immigration, the only issue that matters.
The only issue that matters?
Yes.
You become a
one-issue wonder. It determines everything else, who gets to vote in America. There are consequences, but they don't care because there's more donor money behind the lies. And they know where the people stand, which is why they're always claiming, oh, we'll secure the border and we'll build the fence. And then the fence never gets built and they don't secure the border. They lose elections, but they still get the donor money.
The fence. Half of them don't even come up from Mexico.
That is also a lie. That's because they claim there are only 11 million illegal immigrants. As I told you, there are a minimum of 30, probably 50.
Yes, ma'am.
I suspect your ancestors come from maybe England
or talking to Ann here?
Scotland. Talking to Ann. Because as somebody who comes from people who came from Eastern Europe, whose ancestors were not very welcome here and who had to fight to be here and who had to fight their way up into the middle class, I think you're afraid of people who don't look like you and who don't speak like you. And I know that
you're afraid of people who are not like you.
No, I think I'm afraid of people who vote for the Democrats and who drive down wages.
Be very afraid.
But no, I mean, this is why I've said, and maybe I didn't stress this enough here, over and over again, I am not talking about pre-1970 immigration. We did get the best the world had to offer pre-1970. Post-1970, to quote the great Donald Trump, some, I'm sure, are fine people, but by and large, we are not getting the crème de la crème, and we are not even being sold as Google. We are not even being sold as getting the crème by the crème, other than the 5 cases that get cited.
Even if we,
hey, still talking. we are told.
All right, no more talking. Another questioner here.
We are
Who's
told,
next?
isn't this great? They're so poor. They need our help. That's what we're being in the hardest cases.
Ms. Coulter, I'm from China, so I'm an international student here. So, I mean, I came here legally. I'm not an immigrant yet, and I have to pay my school in order to do a paid internship. I'm paying all my taxes. I'm not collecting any benefits from. So I'm just wondering, do you think I'm also one of the type that's taking away American jobs? Is my presence here hurting any American's life?
Maybe.
No, absolutely not.
Excuse me, how did that question begin? Miss Coulter.
Okay.
Ask us.
Look, maybe you're a fine person. Wish you the best.
You don't know that.
And I don't want to. I mean, obviously, when people make it personal like this, you're expecting me to say, "Well, absolutely, you're not taking any jobs." I don't know. Maybe you are. Maybe you aren't. My point is simply that a government policy should serve the people already here.
My guess is you're more likely to be a job creator in my country than a job taker, and I hope you stay.
Yes, sir.
This is for Ann. Wasn't there a time in U.S. history?
You're a question magnet.
Yes, I am.
Wasn't there a time in U.S. history when they froze immigration in order to assimilate the current immigrant
Yes, that's what I'm calling for now, a moratorium. Give us time to dust off the books, assimilate the ones over here. It's not helpful, by and large, for Americans. And I'm going back to you. Maybe you're... yeah, maybe you'll be great, but I'm getting fed up with this bait and switch you guys do as if they're all like him.
Let's
How about
suppose they're not.
insisting that we want the job creators and not the ones who are driving down wages?
Art, go ahead.
Even if he's illiterate, even if all he can do is lift heavy stuff and put it back down, he is still a job creator. Why? Because he makes Americans more productive. People like you, people like me.
Insane.
That's called the law of comparative advantage.
Not
it's what
if he's taken welfare.
It's what my students learn on day 2 of a Principles of Economics.
Did you learn about the welfare
Thank
state?
you.
That's day
Ann
3.
Coulter, Art Carden, Rick Ungar. That's our show. Don't lie. See you next week.